Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Moyer. I'm one of the sales support trainers here at Briggs Stratton Energy Solutions. And today we're joined with OpenSolar. Andrew, welcome.
Thanks, Daniel. We're really excited to be here. Appreciate you hosting us.
Yeah, what we're going to talk a little bit about is how really to create proposal tools that are accurate, that help you close sales using some of the Briggs & Stratton Energy Solution products. So again, my name is Daniel Moyer. One of the trainers here. I got my start at Sunfrost, which is a refrigeration company that was started in the 80s, and spent a lot of time there, and then moved over to an installer, and then now had an opportunity to work with SimpliPHI Power, now part of Briggs & Stratton. Andrew, what's your background?
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. My name is Andrew. I'm general manager for the Americas at OpenSolar. So, been in the industry for about 13 years, worked in residential solar and also distribution, and yeah, helped launch the US team here for OpenSolar a few years ago. And we're very excited to be working with Briggs and Stratton here, and yeah, helping you all build fast, quick proposals, and hopefully at a really good cost.
Thank you, Andrew. A couple housekeeping items before we go any further. The chat has been disabled, but the Q&A is active. So please put your questions and your questions and comments in there, and we'll try to answer them as we go along. Additionally, this is not a NABCEP accredited course, so if you want to, please don't drop off right now. I know we have a lot of good stuff still here, but we were not able to issue NABCEP credits for this talk as well. Well, let's jump into it. Really, OpenSolar, and I'll let you kind of take away with this slide here, Andrew. What is OpenSolar?
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. So we're the world's largest design proposal software. Really, we're an end-to-end software solution for solar installers. We're being used in over 150 countries around the world. But really what we're known for is, the accuracy and quality of our product, but that we're actually free for contractors. So Open Solar, there's no cost to use the platform, whether it's managing your projects, designing, building proposals, or even selling your deals and processing payment. It's all available online at opensolar.com. So we'll show you a little bit of that today and how it works with Briggs and Stratton's products. And we really appreciate the support and partnership with Briggs and Stratton. And yeah, we're built by solar professionals for solar professionals. So we've got 400 plus years of combined experience amongst our team. We're constantly looking to evolve and further build out our product based on great feedback we get from our installer community.
Great. One thing I wanted to bring up, Andrew, is one of your founders, Birchie, Andrew Birch, I guess his nickname's Birchie. He had written a white paper that I found, and it was really interesting. He talks about the new electric protocol, essentially talking about how home solar, distributed solar and generation sources deliver the lowest cost energy at point of use on the electric grid, right? And these are people pay for this, homeowners pay for this. And in aggregate, right, they already are the largest power plants on the grid. And really, they're one of the easiest technologies to scale. So it's really interesting to read this white paper. Everybody on this webinar is going to get a copy of the slide deck, and you'll be able to click this link and read a little bit more into that. Anything you want to add, Andrew, to this?
No, thank you, Daniel. I definitely recommend checking it out. I know there's a lot of, concerns and headwinds in the US market right now, but it really paints a great story of where solar is going despite, all the challenges we face. It really is the cheapest and lowest to cost energy out there in the market and will continue to grow and, dominate in the global energy mix, despite, again, the challenges we have in the short term here. So, yeah, check it out. There's a lot of great information on there and hopefully provide some optimism for the industry right now.
Yeah, and so when you said designed by solar professionals for solar professionals, you weren't kidding.
Yep, that's right.
A little quick intro to Briggs and Stratton. Batteries are not new to us. We've been a company for about 115 years now. Obviously, we got our start with the internal combustion engines. Maybe a lot of people remember mowing their lawns as a kid. I certainly did to earn their allowance money. But we've now transitioned to diversifying our portfolio and bringing in electrification, not only for some of our lawn equipment, but also on our home residential storage batteries. We truly have a global presence to be able to leverage the engineering, tech support, and the company size to bring to market one of our flagship products, our 6.6 stacking battery that you see there on the right-hand side. Absolutely, we still create engines, and we also have a large line of generators. So if you're interested in generators, maybe with or without a transfer switch, that's something we can still offer. We are an American company, which I'm really excited about, so we can leverage that American expertise to design products that are meant for the North American market. Andrew, we've come a long way from solar proposal tools. I remember back in the day getting out my Solar Pathfinder, and if anybody's on this call that still has their Solar Pathfinder, put it in the comments, the Q&A section, because I'd love to hear about it. I found these tools somewhat useful, right? We could go out to a homeowner's site, and I would never usually get the homeowner up on the roof, like you see in the bottom right picture, but put it in the yard, the south-facing yard, and I could have the homeowner look over this thing and say, hey, look, if I see a tree, you might want to consider cutting down that tree. Or look, your roof, your shading, your yard is perfect for solar. Let's go ahead and do this today. I know we transitioned a little more advanced with the Solmetric Sun Eye. That's the top right corner thing. But we've really come a long way. We can now model what would happen by taking out a tree. In fact, I know your program can actually virtually remove the tree and then model the extra solar production that we're going to get virtually and really quantify that as well, right? So we started off with these tools, and I don't know, Andrew, you might still want to use these sometimes and get it out and dust the cabinet off and get your chalk pen or your wax pen and draw these out. But how did we advance, or what was the second and third generation and the fourth generation that we've now progressed to?
Yeah, I still remember the days of people using napkins or SketchUp to go and draw and design their systems. So yeah, we've come quite a long way in the last, 15 years in solar. And yeah, I think satellite and 2G imagery was the next step, right? So, a lot of the great satellite imagery from Google and other partners out there, as you started mapping the globe, we were able to actually start doing digital designs, but mostly in a 2D environment, which you could still build a really nice looking design or proposal, but you still need to go on site to determine actual values, right? You couldn't get the shading, the numbers, and all that directly from a digital model. So that was kind of the second generation with satellite imagery. You could make a nice looking design in a napkin, but you still need to get on site to figure out what was happening in real life there. The third generation, that's been around for a while now, and that's using either LiDAR or using aerial photogrammetry to create a digital surface model. The latter is what OpenSolar does with our partners like Google and Nearmap, but basically allowing you to create a full 3D rendered model that allows you to accurately figure out what is the shading, what is the production, and you can easily in 5 or 10 minutes get a really accurate 3D design without having to go get on the roof or, do the old school methods of figuring out what's happening there on the home. So that's been what's been really exciting in that third phase, and we were proud to really pioneer along with some others in the market. The fourth generation is now kind of where we are today at OpenSolar, which is an all-in-one tool. So project manager, CRM, design and proposal tool, but also the ability to do a lot more functionality for your business. So, we've got a lot of awesome stuff in there around sizing for inverters, auto stringing. We can now do battery sizing, and we can upload time of use data to figure out how to program that battery, how to be able to charge it and dump it back on the grid to maximize our credit value. Lots of great things you can do with the tool now. I mean, we can even do payment processing from deposits to milestone payments, and it won't be long until you can run your entire business on these solar platforms. So really moving to an all-in-one solution to help the installer, manage their entire process without having to really get out there physically and do everything on the site like they used to have to do.
Yeah, and that saves you from having to do an extra truck roll. Saves time, makes it quicker, and I would argue a lot more accurate than getting your little wax crayon out. So really, I would imagine a lot of people on this call understand what a solar proposal tool, but I just want to take a second to get to the basics, right? What is one of these solar proposal tools? In a lot of ways, it helps you enhance the customer engagement, right, Andrew? They get interactive proposal tools where they can click around, they can see some of the options. The homeowner benefits because they get really accurate financial and energy saving forecasts. So you're able to really calculate that size system. And we're not always now just calculating or sizing systems for their annual offset with some of the new net metering rules that are taking place around the country. We might want to just offset for perhaps their capture some of that solar and then during the day and then discharge it to the home loads at night. I would say that cost estimation, everybody wants to know their payback period. That's one of your best ways of making a sale, right? Showing the homeowner what their investment and when are they going to start to get that return on that as well. The visuals, though, I really like, Andrew. I would always used to print out these things and have a bunch of paper and bring it. And I always still like the idea of bringing brochures, physical tactile things to have. But now, right, can we just sit in the homeowner's kitchen table and bring out the laptop or the iPad and show this stuff? Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. And you can make adjustments right in the fly, right? So if someone wants to see what panels might look like on the back of the roof, and maybe it's not the best idea for them, but the homeowner doesn't understand it, right? You can show and explain solar that much better and also, make changes on the fly. So just makes it a much more consultative conversation, allows you to help figure out what's the best solution for them. And yeah, I mean, the tool itself and showing them the accuracy in the modeling and where our industry has come adds a lot of value to that sale process.
Now we're looking at that picture on the right, Andrew, and I kind of noticed, right, that's a flat roof and we have some of the modules tilted up. Is there a way for me to know the row spacing so that I'm not going to be shading one row to the next as they're tilted up?
Yeah, totally. So you can modify and adjust these modules any way you want. You can do east-west splits, you can do tilt up, you can do, roof mounts, ground mounts, carports, all of them. And what's great is with their 3D shading analysis, year-round shading analysis, you can actually see the sun path in the modeling. So you can actually see if there is an impact happening from one row to the next and adjust as needed if you're seeing that impact. So you can do all that digitally and get them the right proposal before you go out to the site.
Yeah, and I know in our talk today, we're not going to have a chance to really demo some of those more advanced features, but knowing that that's there and you guys are always there and have resources to help people understand how to do that.
Yeah, that's correct. So we have a coast-to-coast US sales and support team that's available during US business hours. If you want a demo of OpenSolar, if you have been using it and need some help, you can always reach out to us. We can hop on and help you out with a call there. But we do have a global team here at OpenSolar. So, we're headquartered in Australia. We have teams all around the globe, and we do have teams that are doing our support outside of US hours. So that's a great thing is you can always get help when you need it.
Another thing I want to make sure we just understand is what do you got to do to use one of these tools? Really, the first thing is you got to just put in the customer's information, their address, their energy usage, and we're going to show a little bit more advanced how not just to put in how many kilowatt hours they use per month, but how to upload interval data. And we're going to talk a little bit about why uploading interval data, 15-minute, 30-minute, or 1 hour interval data is really key to how to make a really accurate energy and storage estimation, and also return on investment as well. Really, the utility rate, it's one thing to upload how much energy they use, but to know what they pay for that electricity is really key. So we got to make sure we get their utility rate. And there's a lot of utility rates out there, right, Andrew? And you guys must have a heck of a time trying to keep track of all these changing utility rates, but you guys have a big long list, right?
Yeah, no, we're actually really proud of the utility database we built. We think it's one of the best in the world. We've got not only all the utilities and rates mapped for the US, but actually a majority of countries around the planet. So we've got a whole team at OpenSolar dedicated to that. And we are often updating the rates well ahead of any of our installers calling them out to us. But if for some reason the utility rate seemed out of date or you just had questions about it, we'll review that. And if any updates are needed, we do it in about a business day. So we're very quick to react. But actually, with our team, we're pretty ahead of any of those changes. The moment utility changes the rates, we're usually finding out about it. So it's typically done in advance. And again, yeah, accuracy is really strong. Like California, for instance, we have all 576 export values modeled. So all the little
Wow.
nuances you have with NEM3, they're already in the system and built in there.
Yeah, because in your proposal tool, there's an option just to enter in how much is my bill per month. You don't enter in how much kilowatt hours per month. So you need to be able to do that math behind the scenes to understand what the consumption, people might be on a low income rate or an electric only rate or a time of use rate or a tiered rate. So that's really great. I love that.
Yeah, and I'll just
Um,
pause real quick, Daniel. So yeah, again, you can do all that. You can specify the before and after rate. And yeah, we have a question here from one of the guests about if the rate was updated after the proposal or model was created. It's really easy. You just go back to the energy page, which will show today, where you can just change or update that rate, recalculate the proposal, and it's updated automatically for that homeowner. So yeah, pretty simple process to go and recalculate it if you need to.
yeah, thank you, Thomas, for that question. Keep them coming, everybody, while we're here as well. The right, so the system and design, so we enter the information and we start to get along and we can start to model this out and put panels on the roof and the size, and then it'll recommend that stuff. And I know you guys have a battery selection tool as well. It's going to then kick out a financial analysis that calculates the cost, the savings, and more importantly, Andrew, being able to integrate financing. Any time we're sitting with the homeowner, we always want to not only present a cash option, but also financing options as well. I really like that when I create my proposal that I can customize it. I can put my company logo on it. I can put recommendations or referrals from some of my customers in there as well. So really make it nice, customizable. It just doesn't look like a printed out kind of generic sheet as well. You can get them to sign it right there in the app, and that's why we kind of went to that fourth generation that we're talking about. And then additionally, I know we're going to talk about this here in a minute, Andrew, but you can get your payment collected right there in the app as well. So really exciting stuff. And with that, another thing I want to dive into is specifically for Briggs and Stratton, we don't make solar modules, we make energy storage systems. So I would see that this has been a big advance in open source technology, is not just the solar photovoltaic side of it, but how do we model battery storage? And you do this in a couple of ways, right? You really need to understand not only that we're adding batteries, but how fast we can charge or discharge the batteries. All batteries like solar panels degrade over time. With our 6.6 battery, we have a retained energy capacity of 75% after 10 years, which is pretty good in the industry, one of the better ones. But also the usable capacity, right? We don't always want to discharge our batteries down to 100%. We want to usually leave about 20%, 80% depth of discharge in the battery. And then the efficiency of the battery. And we'll talk a little bit about efficiency here on the right-hand side when we talk about AC versus DC coupling. But also, Andrew, the battery control scheme. So that's the logic on when the battery should charge and discharge, whether it should have that offset capacity. Can you just talk a little bit about why having the battery control scheme is so important when we're modeling this, right? It's the idea that we're going to tell OpenSolar how we're going to program the system after we've installed it.
Yeah, thanks. So there's a number of ways to do that, right? Like one of my favorites is how to maximize savings, which is one of our battery control schemes, which is often used in a place like California or a place with net billing, right? Where net metering has changed and you're trying to optimize the charging and discharging to get the best value for your credits. We also have, options like, self consumption, which is mainly for resiliency. So if you want to protect the home in case of an outage and you're mainly concerned with keeping energy at the home for those situations, we've got an option for that. We also have an option for peak demand charges. So if you're in a place like Arizona and you need to shave off that peak demand, you can set the battery control scheme to operate for that, that situation as well. We also have the ability to customize these schemes. So if you want to make a custom scheme for a specific manufacturer or how your business likes to propose, utilizing that battery, all of those options are possible within the OpenSolar tool, and we'll show a little bit of that today.
Yeah, absolutely. And these battery control schemes can really change the return on investment, right? The payback period. And you can always dynamically play with those as well. But the idea is that you're going to tell OpenSolar how you intend to program the inverter, whether it's going to be just reserve all the battery, never discharge, whether it's going to try and discharge during the day, discharge during night with that stored solar as well, or during time of use. Another great nuance that OpenSolar does is it recognizes the difference between AC and DC connected systems. So on the right-hand side, Briggs and Stratton, right, we are a DC coupled battery. We take solar off of the roof produced by DC into charge controllers, and we charge up that battery. And then we use a hybrid inverter, like SolarArc is one of our favorites, but others are out there that we're partnering with. So you got solar coming off the roof, right? And the DC goes straight into that battery. And then only when we need to use the AC do we turn that, the DC, we turn that into AC to power the home loads. And then on the left, right, this is kind of the end phase, I would say, situation where you have those micro inverters on the roof or a string inverter. We're bringing that AC and then we're using AC down to the battery, which usually has an integrated inverter charger on board, to then charge up that battery using DC. The problem there is that the bottleneck, right? So if you have a 5,000 watt inverter and you're producing 8,000 watts of solar power, you're only going to get 5,000 through that. It's that inverter clipping kind of concept there. But if we're using charge controllers, we can take all 8,000 of that solar, bring it down into the battery. We can send 5 into the battery and then the rest can go to loads. Andrew, I've seen a little bit of changes to this, and where we're kind of doing a hybrid situation where we still on the battery have charge controllers built in. So it's still an AC coupled battery. And we bring the DC down, charge up the batteries with charge controllers, and then still use that AC coupled architecture up here as well. So interesting to see, and then we're seeing those with the some of the grid boss or the gateways that are coming onto the market that we're starting to pair with as well. Again, you got a great article that everybody will have a link to and can read a little bit more into this as well. So Andrew, why don't you talk a little bit through OpenSolar and what your mission is?
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. So yeah, we're on a mission to accelerate the adoption of solar and renewable energy globally. I mean, the whole goal of OpenSolar is to reduce the barrier to entry. So, folks can get into the solar industry, start building and designing systems, and also so folks who are in the solar industry can be able to, grow their business, scale and sell more solar, and save money or not have to spend a lot on their software solutions. We're being used by 25,000 plus solar professionals around the globe, like I mentioned, over 160 countries, and we have a lot of partners and providers like Briggs Stratton who help support the open solar market and all of the installers on the platform. And that's how we're free. We generate our revenue off of our integrations and partnerships. So every time someone runs a finance deal through open solar or processes a payment, or in some markets, orders their equipment, or we have great manufacturers like Briggs and Stratton who support us. That's how we keep the platform free for our installer community. And yeah, allows us to continue to grow and scale without charging installers directly. The great news is for all of our installers on the platform, there's no costs or hidden fees or anything like that. For our finance partners, it's the same program you work with outside of OpenSolar. So there's no extra dealer fees or costs. Everything should be just as you are used to, just within the OpenSolar environment. And yeah, Daniel was mentioning, we're the world's fastest design technology. So there's a lot of great automation in our platform, the biggest being the 3D modeling. All you have to do is paint on the panels and it's instantly calculating the offset, production, the savings as well, and the ROI. You can really build custom interactive proposals in just under 5 minutes. And we have more automation coming later this year that will make that even faster for our installer community. And as Daniel was mentioning earlier, we have integrated finance partners. So all the major solar finance players are plugged into OpenSolar. You can do the credit check, the pre-approval, all the loan docs right in our platform, and it's doing it simultaneously in the partner portal. We even have automatic rate updates. So if the dealer fees change, the rates change, it's a simple click of the button to instantly update and archive all the old rates and get the new ones. There's no manual entry or anything like that. And we do have integrations for signing contracts as well as collecting payments. So you can sign your agreements right in OpenSolar. And with our new cash flow system, which I'll mention here in a moment, you can actually process your deposits, your milestone payments, truck rolls, all of that right in the OpenSolar platform.
Yeah, and you even know when the customer opens up the proposal and looks at it, right? You get a notification. Andrew, I know we're going to go through a little more of the demo, but I see here we got a 26 panel system, and I see some numbers here, right? 8.84, right? That's how many kilowatt in solar. What do some of these other numbers mean right here?
Yeah, so you're getting the system size there. You're getting the offset from whatever usage information you've entered in the previous page. You'll have the battery capacity as well and the first year of production. And those numbers are always automatically calculating. So anytime you add or move a panel, slightly modify or change anything in the design, it's going to constantly recalc that for you. So you're always getting live, up-to-date, real-time numbers on exactly what the system is doing based on how you've designed it.
Yeah, and I'm don't mean to call you out, Andrew, but I guess I'm going to. That's a pretty good size system, but with only 6.5 kilowatt hours, it's kind of a smaller battery, so we might want to jump that up a little bit.
Fair enough. Thank you. Yeah, and we've got yeah, and I'm not sure where that screenshot came from, but yeah, we've got class leading accuracy here at OpenSolar too. So it's the great thing about us is we're third party validated by NREL and PVAL. Shade reports are year round and automated, so you can see here when you're looking in each design for each array, you're going to get a nice table or toolbar here that shows you the months of the year, the times of the day, and the average solar excess or shade impact, which you can toggle between. You'll even have these ray tracers here, so you can click on, that time of day specifically and time of year to see exactly where the sun path is and what's impacting the system, even down to the module level. But yeah, you're getting really good accurate reports that you can download in a nice PDF that give you an overall for the entire system in every array. And hopefully that means more accurate system designs for you, less change orders, and we want that to lead to happier customers and higher conversions and referrals for your business.
I see it says annual beam shading, annual diffuse shading. Can you just really quickly explain what those differences are?
Yeah, so I mean, you're getting just again a little bit of impact here on the overall from yeah, again, I'd have to dig into that a little bit here, but yeah, you're getting just a little bit difference there on the overall spread of the shading on the system versus the direct shading to each module. So each beam there. Yep. And then, yeah, again, as Daniel was mentioning, we're an all-in-one solution. So built-in CRM, workflow management tool. The dedicated smartphone and tablet apps mean you can take this out in the field. So you've got this on your computer, your desktop, which we'll see today. You can also access all of this on your smartphone or tablet. And the great news about OpenSolar is we do have an open API. So you can actually connect our tool with any other tool or resource out there. You can use, your own CRM if you want to connect that to OpenSolar. But yeah, we have everything built into the platform. So whether you're connecting tools or using our own, you should have the ability and functionality to do what you need for your business. And then we do provide a lot of post-sale documentation. So I mentioned the shade reports. You also see install packs, user manuals, site plans. You can even upload your own custom documents, and you can generate and even sign any custom document within the platform with our document manager.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. I was thinking a little bit more about that system, Andrew, that there is opportunities maybe to have a relatively small battery. Perhaps they are on net metering and they have a time of use rate. And we've calculated that the amount of energy they consume during that time of use rate isn't very much. So we don't necessarily need a larger battery. They're maybe on a very reliable grid, so they're not necessarily looking for the few days of autonomy. And what we can do is sell them what they need and get the fastest return on investment, knowing that OpenSolar is going to model that for them. So, what's cash flow, Andrew?
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. So appreciate that. And cash flow is our newest feature we've just launched Open Solar. It's been out now for about 6 months, and it's effectively payment processing and accounting right in the platform. So we do have integrations with QuickBooks and Xero, so you can actually connect Open Solar with those accounting platforms. But there's no cost or monthly fee to have access to cash flow. There's only a transactional fee for processing the payments, but you can do your deposits, your milestone payments, all your truck rolls right through Open Solar, process the payments in the platform, and even track and manage all those payments from either a project level basis or a full account company basis. And the integration, again, it's no cost to activate it, and you're only paying each time a fee is processed or a transaction's processed. And the fees are actually cheaper than most traditional payment processors like Stripe, QuickBooks, and PayPal. So again, we're really bringing it all in app. We're making it super easy to do this right in the proposal or after you've sold the system. All the invoices are branded and customized for your business. You can automate them. And yeah, it's really flexible, right? So if you guys want to eat the cost of the payment, if it's a credit card, you can do that, or you can roll that right into the cost of the actual project and pass it along to your customer. But kind of like everything we do here, we're trying to make it all easy and seamless for the installer, all in one platform, and hopefully cheaper for their business as well. And again, this helps also power the OpenSolar platform and keep the overall platform free for the contractor.
Yeah, quicker as well. I see we do have a question, or two questions. Brian's asking, is there generator integration? Um, as you might know, Briggs is one of only two manufacturers that can integrate it all.
Yeah, so you can actually add generators in OpenSolar. You are able to add them to design and proposal today. They're not going to necessarily have an effect on the consumption and ROI per se, although you can obviously add costs and show what the impact of that would be to the proposal. I can't say too much yet, but there will be a pretty big overhaul coming to OpenSolar later this year, expanding our design capabilities, and you should see some greater impact of generator functionality within the platform here in the not too distant future at OpenSolar. Similar to Thomas's question here as well, some questions about commercial projects. Yeah, we do have a little bit of limitation into the size of the 3D model. So again, you'll see OpenSolar is pretty good for residential, small, and mid commercial. When you get to larger scale commercial, the 3D model we get from Google and Nearmap does have a bit of a limited space. So you can use 2D to do your larger scale commercial designs. Again, you'll want to make sure you get some more in-person shading data if shading is considered an impact to a system, if it's going to be in a field with a lot of trees or if there's trees around the building you're designing. But for most bigger scale commercial designs, if you're out there in a pretty open area, you can kind of estimate what that shading is or get the real life numbers. Enabling larger scale commercial is on the roadmap here for OpenSolar again in the not too distant future. But let's just answer those two questions here.
Great. Contractors, installers, we all like to get paid. It looks like we're making it pretty easy.
Yeah, that's right. And again, it hopefully should help you save as well on those traditional payment processing systems. So you can see some of the numbers here in the math, but yeah, you'll be able to save as well on credit card fees, hopefully increase your efficiency with collecting that payment, hopefully less chasing of your customers for it. And again, it's a nice seamless digital experience just to make it really easy to go from signing to collecting payment, accepting the proposal, the financing all in one easy place.
Great. We do have one more question. Can we add different panels and racking to OpenSolar? I think we're going to show that here in a minute, right, Andrew?
Yeah, so we do have the ability to add any modules, batteries, inverters you want. We have a really large database. We should have everything you need there, but if for some reason you're missing a product, you can't find it, let our team know. If it is not truly in the system, we'll get it added there in about 24 hours. But yeah, it should all be there for you. For racking, you can add any racking company's parts manually in the platform that you want. We currently have live 2 integrations right now with Iron Ridge and Sunmoto. There are 2 that are being built that are pretty big brand names that are coming very soon, and we have roadmap for the rest behind that. So you'll see actual API, click a button, instant integrations that are coming, but you can always add any of your racking parts in OpenSolar manually as well.
Yeah, we had just done a install out at the Briggs Stratton headquarters out in Milwaukee, and we used OpenSolar to model it using the Iron Ridge Design Assistant integration. It told me how many rails of XR100 I need, where to cut them, how many mounts. It was really slick and really gave me just a bomb, a bill of material, and everything I needed. And then I can go to one of our distributors and obtain all of the parts and pieces I need. So really cool, saving you time as well. So one key thing we want to reinforce, and I've always thought about this, is yes, you can enter in how many kilowatt hours they use per month or per year, but pulling in the interval data is really key, especially now when we have these time of use rates, when we have the net billing tariff that we've moved away from net energy metering, right? A lot of utilities out there publish or give you access to this data. So on the right-hand side, this is from Pacific Gas and Electric up here in Northern California, where I'm located. And it's usually called green button data. And you can see, we're going to demo this here in a second, how to download this spreadsheet and then upload that into OpenSolar. And what that allows us to do is give real accurate system sizing. I would really argue that it's the best thing is going to be with financial projections and giving that cost benefit analysis, with the addition of having the homeowner also be able to see that data and help them understand some of their energy usage as well. Perhaps push them towards some energy efficient upgrades that you see fit. So Andrew, maybe you talk a little bit about why you think interval data is so important.
Yeah, I mean, interval data is really critical to understanding the exact usage and consumption profile for the homeowner, exactly when they're using their energy. And, it's really important to size the battery and set it correctly to make sure, again, you're using it in the right, or the most optimized way for that situation and the rate and the area the homeowner is in, right? Whether they're in Arizona, California, other places in the country. But to know when that energy demand and consumption is happening and when the system is going to be either using that much energy or the battery will be dumping it to be used in the home, it's really important to know how to size the battery, when you want to be using it. And again, there's a lot of, factors going into the rate plan, how you time the storing and dumping the battery, and the homeowner's energy habits. So getting the most detailed data from the homeowner gives you the most insights on how big of a storage solution they need and how you program that. So again, if you can get the 12 months of usage, that's still really great, but getting the exact consumption profile for them, the interval data, will let you get really pinpoint accurate on how you want to size that storage solution for them.
Yeah, I think about some of the demographics of some of the people we sell solar to, right? You might have a retired couple that's home during the day. Most of their electrical consumption's there during the day, and they have the solar producing during the day. They don't necessarily need a bigger battery, like I mentioned earlier. But maybe it's a family that goes to work and school with the kids, and they all come home at night. So most of their energy consumption is during the evening time when the sun's not producing. If you just upload how many kilowatt hours they use per month, you're not going to get that level of detail that's going to allow this really powerful OpenSolar platform to crunch those numbers as well. So let's take a look on how we upload some of this interval data. So go ahead and narrate us, right, Andrew? We're
Yeah.
on the PG&E website. We're downloading our data.
Correct. Yeah. So I'll talk a little bit here, and my colleague Bob will take over. But right here, we're downloading the interval data from PG&E. So if you go to your usage page in the PG&E account, you'll see that green button data. You want to go ahead and download that green button data. It's going to give you a nice Excel or CSV file here, which you'll download and then just do some light formatting to in order to go ahead and upload it into our system. So right now, we're selecting the date range, right? You want to try to get a full year of the data here, that you're getting that full consumption profile for the entire 12 months. You'll go ahead and download that information to get the CSV or Excel file, and my colleague Bob will take over here to explain how we format that.
PG interval data for upload into OpenSolar. All you need to do is add the date and start time into a single column, and then the usage into the second column. So you should have a header that's date time, and then a header that's usage, and then just the rest of the data down below it. So we'll do that here. Go ahead and add the date to the start time, and then we're going to copy this formula and paste it all the way down through the entire series of intervals. So we have all the way down to the bottom, date, time. And next column we'll do is usage. Make sure these have nice headers here. And then we're going to take the usage and do the same. Paste the usage across. Great. So now let's go back to the top. And let's take both of those. That's the date time column that we need. So now what we're going to do here is just delete these rows. And let's make sure that we copy those two columns and paste values only. So that way we're not working with formulas anymore. We just have the static values. And then we're going to delete these columns. So now we have interval data from PG&E ready to upload into OpenSolar.
Awesome. So,
So
I'll
you go ahead.
yeah, thanks, Daniel. So yeah, all we have to do then is take that formatted sheet and go ahead and upload it into our platform. Now we have a slower training video here we'll share across, and there's this video we'll share as well. But basically, you're going to get into a format that can be universally readable for our system. We can do 15-minute, 30-minute, and 60-minute data in OpenSolar, and for most utilities, just with that quick little formatting process. But all you have to do is go ahead and upload this right into OpenSolar, take that same Excel or CSV file you just saved, and then once you upload that, you'll go ahead and be able to see the impact it has in the energy page here. So we'll upload that bill right now. And then you'll be able to see this across the bar chart. But more importantly, when you're in the design tool, you can actually see that consumption profile throughout the year, when they're using their energy at what days and times. And then when you add the battery to that, you'll be able to see how the battery impact is in addition to the consumption profile with the charging and the discharging. So we'll take a look at that in a moment in the full demo. But that is the power of being able to upload the interval data. It's a quick little format, and then you can get that right into the tool and have all of their granular consumption data right in OpenSolar.
Yeah, so if we weren't all, paying very close attention, right, you were showing their templates. So you can look at the templates and figure that out. And like you mentioned, Andrew, there's other resources as well. So what we're going to do now is spend a little time walking through a demo. Before we do that, Andrew, are there any questions?
Sorry, there's a couple in here. So kilowatt hours is the format here for most of those interval data spreadsheets, and that's what you want to be using here. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that. Again, if you have questions formatting it, you can go ahead and reach out to our team. We can help. There are a number of utilities across the country that do make this data available. I know there are others that don't, so you'll just have to check with your local utility and what they actually can provide. All the major California IOUs do have that green button data available. We do also have an integration with utility API. You might have seen that on the screen back there a moment ago. But you can go ahead and use that if you have a partnership or integration with them to upload data directly from your customer's portal through utility API. There's another question here about the battery bill of materials. So we do provide a full bill of materials list for the entire project. Most of the main components, inverters, panels, and batteries, as well as racking. You can add your balance of systems manually right now. We are working on something that will allow you to more automatically calculate the balance of systems equipment. But yeah, you can generate a full bill of materials for everything you've added within the tool. And then as far as the date and time when it starts, it doesn't technically matter. You just want to get a full year. So you just want to go back to, exactly a year from when you're pulling that data. So, be May of 2024 to 2025 if you're doing it today. And yeah, it should be able to pull it from, the very first day of that month, whatever you're specifying in that column in the utilities. But again, it's different for every utility account. So check it out. And if you have any questions, we'll provide resources on how you can reach out to our team to get assistance if you're struggling with it.
Yeah, and you can, on your bill of material, right, Andrew, I can put in what the bill of material, what the item is,
Yep.
what my cost is, what my markup is. So I'm not having to do that math every time I design a system. It automatically generates what the customer's cost is, don't have to use the cup of coffee and crunch numbers every morning. You know, Andrew, it's notable that you don't upload kilowatts, just the kilowatt hours, but I would find that kilowatt column useful so I could look through, maybe sort that spreadsheet and look at what was the most kilowatts they ever used at that 15-minute interval data, which might help me size my inverter.
Yeah, especially if you got a place where you've got demand charges, right? Because then you know when you're kind of really hitting that at that moment. So yeah, there is some importance to checking out those things. But in terms of the formatting, like Bob was showing you, yeah, you can kind of focus mainly on the kilowatt hours. So.
Great. Let's go ahead and walk through the demo.
Yeah, and then sorry, I'll do before you go, Dan, one last question here we have
Yeah.
is if you don't have a full year, OpenSolar does do an estimation for the rest of it. So based on the consumption profile you do upload and where the project is located, we'll do an estimate of the remaining months of usage there. So
Yeah, just like if I enter in 1 month the kilowatt hour data, right, it'll populate it out for me.
that is correct. Yep. And here
Great.
we're gonna go ahead through a full demo here of OpenSolar. So I'll go ahead and get started here. So yeah, this is the OpenSolar platform. When you log in, you're going to see a couple zones across the top. We're on the home page right now. So this is where you enter a project address to go ahead and get started. It's a smart search. It'll help you pull up that property. Then it'll give you a nice view and image of the home. So right here, you can see the home and being sized right over it. So you just want to make sure you have the right home centered here, and then you hit create project to get started. We've got a pre-built project we'll take a look at for this demo right here. So this is the project page. This is where you're going to have your project manager. So actually backing up for a quick second, Daniel, if you want to pause it. This
Yeah.
is our project manager CRM tool. So you're going to see a list of all your projects. We went over that quite quickly, but you'll have your projects, the stages, the action items. You can sort them all, make list views. Again, you can hook up the OpenSolar CRM with any other platform you want out there through our open API. Now, once you start a project, this is the manage page. So you're going to see the customer contact info, who on the team is on this project. You have your workflows, so all the stages and action items. You can customize and change all of those. You'll also see on the right hand on the bottom activities. So you'll see any changes made to the project that your team has done internally. But as Daniel was mentioning earlier, any customer interactions, so anything the customer does with your proposal, you see those live notifications right there in the design tool as well. So that's pretty great for those buying signals for knowing how engaged that customer actually is with the proposal you've sent them. Daniel, we can continue here. Yeah, and I know we're going quickly for the interest of time. Down here, you'll have documents and transactions. You'll have the ability to open the DocuSign contract. We are integrated with Solar app, and we also can generate a full bill of materials. So Dan, if you want to pause here for a second, you can download a full bill of materials right from the tool, but also if you work in a jurisdiction with Solar app, you can send the entire project right through to the team at Solar app into the application after you sold your project. So if you're in a place of Solar app, that helps you streamline permitting. We do have an integration with Green Lancer, so you can generate and send all the stuff to them for a plan set, or you can download a DXF file, AutoCAD, or an SLD diagram out of here to go and build the permit plan set in-house as well. And as I'm highlighting here, you can generate or upload documents. If you want to store documents in here, you can. You can also generate things like shade reports, install instructions, or getting those custom documents I was mentioning earlier.
Maybe notes about the homeowner. Don't, you know, there's dogs on the property or other things like that. Great.
Yep. Down here, you'll have more functionality for the project, storing more information and data in here. But the main thing is the next page, which is the energy page. So as we talked about earlier, you can put energy in via kilowatt hours, bill dollar values. You can even estimate it based on the size and location of the home, or you can upload that interval data. Daniel, if you want to pause right here for a second, this is where you have the electricity rates. So as we talked about earlier, you can specify the rate before they go solar, the rate after they go solar. You can highlight or open up any of these rates to see the charges, the export values. You can even search our whole database right here or in the back end, the control zone, to go ahead and see our whole rate database of everything in the tool there. Once you got the right utility rate and the usage upload, you'll go to our design tool. So this is the OpenSolar 3D model. I've got a couple of pre-built systems here, but we have our 3D model, our 2D, and our manual. 3D is what you want to use today. That's the most accurate version of OpenSolar. It also automatically calculates the shading, the pitch, and the azimuth in real time for you. We use Google as our main mapping partner, but we have Nearmap in here as well. Now you can right click and hold to navigate the whole 3D model. You can zoom in or zoom out with the scroll wheel or those plus and minus buttons, or you can use the compass to move around as well. Now we do have the ability to add a new system here. So when you're starting from the beginning, you'll see this drop down. You can open up the module database to choose your module. Now I've got a bunch of them in here because this is my demo account. Normally you would set up to 3 or 4 or 5 modules your sales reps work with. just click the plus panel button right there. Once you selected your panel, you'll see the cursor moves the module around. You can see as you add them, just left click and drag. You also have some automatic features to fill in. You can move the panels around. Every time you're doing that, it's constantly calculating and recalculating. So the system size, the offset percentage, the first year production, all that calculates automatically anytime you make changes. We have racking integrated, right? So you can generate a full racking bill of materials. And with the inverter here, you can choose the inverter. So just choose the inverter type you want. We'll choose a solar arc here. You can automatically size and string the inverter based on the manufacturer and voltage range. And you'll see the strings right there. You can also automatically size your batteries. So if you want to go ahead and do that, you can choose the battery design assistant, what the savings goal is to the customer. So savings, consumption, peak demand shaving, and then just fill in the appliances and the hours of backup right here. And the system will automatically size and build that battery for you. You can also manually select the battery as well. So if you want to go ahead and select it, you can choose Briggs & Stratton right here at the very bottom. Again, my demo account has a bunch of these in it. You'd only have the couple you guys add. But if you choose Briggs & Stratton, it will filter by their options. And you can go ahead and choose the manual battery option you want to add here as well. The other section allows you to add any balance of systems. Pricing allows you to price a system, so you can price it lots of different ways here. You can set commissions and also cost. And then down here, you'll have a whole library of adders and discounts you can build and choose from. The system will have a breakdown of your cost, your pricing, your overall margin. So every system is constantly job costing for you. And then your incentives automatically apply as well, but you can also manually select them. So Dave, if you want to pause here for a moment, that's a really quick high-level overview of the platform. We're moving kind of quickly in the video here in the interest of time. But yeah, you can automatically generate and size and build everything, but you also have manual options for all of it as well. So we'll see how it shows up in the proposal. Before you go to the actual proposal, you'll have the payment section here. This is where you can choose the different payment options you want. We're comparing a cash with a dividend and a sun gauge option. But as we'll show here in a moment, once we move forward here, you can actually choose and select any payment option you want. So going over here, you can go ahead and add payment options, and you can compare and contrast the different options right here in the tool side by side for whatever you're approved and authorized to sell. And you can sort those by what has the lowest dealer fee, what has the best monthly payment before moving to the online proposal. Now, the online proposal here is going to be the preview that the customer is seeing, so you can customize the logo, the color scheme, the about us for your business. You'll see multiple system designs here. So you've got the solar only with the solar and storage, and a system with more solar and more storage. And as I move through these, you can see that there's different costs and savings. So the cost goes up, but the savings is actually going up as well because we're adding storage in California, where it's actually better for you if you can charge and discharge to take advantage of the credit situation there with NEM3. Under system hardware down here, you'll see our partners versus non-partners, and then you'll see system performance here as well, where you can see this daily energy profile. So you can see the consumption habits, how much is being protected with self-consumption, how much goes back to the grid, and this is a solar only system. So if we look at this daily energy profile, you can see right here in a second the actual production and export. So yellow is the production of the system, red is export to the grid, and it's all exporting right in the middle of the day when you're not getting great value for those credits. But
Yep.
if you go ahead and use solar and storage here, you'll see those numbers have flipped. You're keeping more energy with the home, and the energy you are exporting to the grid, you're exporting at different times in the day when you're getting more value for those credits. So we're actually exporting more here. But if you see, if I click on the energy profile, Dale, maybe pause here for a moment, you'll see all that charge is the blue. So the blue in the bottom is the battery charging in the middle of the day and then dumping at the end of the day there when you're getting a lot more value for those credits. And you're also not pulling energy from the grid when it's more expensive for you. So that's the value of adding more, storage capacity, and how you program the battery is you can, be able to show the customer, here's the real benefit of storage, as well as demonstrate the better savings, the better ROI, and the better payback, right? We're looking at winter right here, but that still looks really good. And obviously summer is even better. So this is the real power of getting their consumption data in here, especially time of
Yep.
use data, and how you program that battery, because it's going to give you better ROI, better savings, and a more customized look for that specific homeowner or business owner.
Absolutely.
Yep, so here's another view of that. You can see how that looks throughout the year. And again, in the fall, we're not pulling really any energy from the grid, which is amazing. Now, coming down here, you'll have all these graphics and widgets where you can take out and keep in. You'll also see up here all the great stuff for Briggs & Stratton. So as a partner, Briggs has marketing videos, tech and warranty information, even spec sheets with all their products in OpenSolar to help you sell the value of Briggs & Stratton right in the proposal. And we really appreciate their support here, but you've got all of their great technical data available to you right here in the tool to help educate that homeowner. And then as they go through the actual proposal, these widgets, again, you can take in or keep out. You can even embed your own custom information that you want in here. You'll see bill savings details, the old bill next to the new bill. If you switch to a finance option, you can see what those monthly payments look like. We have all kinds of tables and charts in here to help you with the sale. You can see exactly what it looks like in year over year for the 20 or 25 or 30 years, the payback, the ROI, the quotation table right here. You can see the tax credit, the payment milestones. And if you look at a finance option, you can even see what those monthly payments are and how paying the tax credit impacts the system. Again, you can apply for financing right here in the tool. So here's SunGauge. You can apply right here in the tool and get that instant pre-approval, do all the loan docs. You can even sign your own agreement here and process payment. And it's really easy to send to the customer. You can do it via email, you can use the link, or you can even scan it and text the QR code. So it's really versatile. And then here's cash flow, where you can manage and check out all of your payments for all of your projects. You can even go into any individual project here and see exactly where that is, what you processed, what's still outstanding, and you can customize and send invoices and reminders right here from within OpenSolar. Again, cheaper than most of your traditional payment processors, but you can also integrate it with your accounting tools. So really building that full end-to-end solution right here in the tool for OpenSolar. That was a really fast demo in the interest of time here. Would love to get detailed on all the different functionality we have here for you. So we'll have some stuff at the end and resources how you can contact our team to get started, or if you have questions about how to further use your account in the platform, we're more than happy to dig into any of those specific features we talked about or showed in the lightning fast demo today to give you more help and insights. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. And I think that was really key, showing that having how the battery control scheme and then also the interval data really can affect the payback period as well. So really quickly, I just want to take a few minutes to talk about Briggs & Stratton. Like I had mentioned earlier, our 6.6 stacking battery, that's one of our newest product offerings. We're really excited. We've had a great success with this. It is an inverter agnostic battery, so there's lots of inverters we partner with, SolarArc being one of our favorite, and that's what Andrew had showed, but additional ones coming online really soon, Solis, Megarevo as well. We still have our PHI and AmpliPHI batteries. These are batteries that we've been making for 15 years now. They come in the PHI is either 24 or 48 volts. You might have a lot of 24-volt projects, some lead acid battery replacements, make a great offering for that. We also additionally have high voltage batteries. So the idea that we run our batteries in series, not in parallel like we do with the 6.6 and the PHI. We also have some very powerful software tools as well. And software, just like our solar proposal tools, are becoming more powerful. The monitoring systems for these energy storage systems are also becoming more advanced, and we call ours Energy Track. Generators is absolutely still a necessity, especially for somebody living off the grid or somebody that's looking for that extra level of resiliency. And we have residential liquid cooled and we have transfer switches as well. And this is a marketing photo, Andrew, just to call out marketing photos on the left. I can kind of tell it's not it's a marketing photo because well, one, it doesn't have a bunch of stickers from PV labels all over it, and they did a great job of hiding all the conduit. But it does give a great representation of how nice and clean looking our batteries can be. We as installers install something, run back to the truck or the van, and we don't have to look at it. But a homeowner has this in their garage, has this on the side of the house. We're really proud of the look of our battery. Additionally, we're really proud of how quick it stacks together, that you as the installer can get this installed, get it commissioned, and then get back to the next job, saving a lot of money on labor. It is outdoor or indoor rated, and we can either do wall mount or a floor mount as well. One thing I want to call out again is our warranty. It's a 10-year warranty with unlimited cycles at 100% depth of discharge with no throughput clause. At the end of that 10 years, 75% retained energy capacity. It's notable that we always, in our good old lead acid battery days, Andrew, we always talked about depth of discharge being the deciding factor on the number of cycles that we'd get out of a battery. And that's still true. It does affect it, but when you think about these lithium iron phosphate batteries, it's really the rate at which you charge or discharge the battery, how fast or you charge it or how quick you discharge it, that can affect the cycle life. So if you're treating the batteries relatively hard, C over 2 is a lot faster than our C over 10 or our C over 20s that we're used to in lead acid. We're still going to get 6,000 cycles of expected life. That's like 16 years. We do have temperature limitations like all lithium ion and LFP batteries. They don't do too good in cold weather on the charging cycle. We've done some things to optimize the electrolyte in our batteries that allows it to go down to 14 degrees Fahrenheit. I know in certain parts of the country, it still gets colder than that. So put them in a garage, a utility closet, a basement, where it's probably not going to be that cold. If that's still not an option, we do have heating options available on our Phi and SimpliPHI. I personally like to avoid using heating options. It uses up energy from the battery to heat them, and some of them can be substantial heaters. So being able to keep them operating down to 14 without the need of heaters, I was really proud of our engineering team that was able to make that happen. Really quickly to cap, really proud of our 6.6. It's easy to install. Really excited about the software. Andrew, right? You said it, you were showing us today, software is becoming more and more important in our industry from the very beginning of the sale to the end of the sale to the commissioning of these systems. Briggs & Stratton is a well-known brand that's going to help make that sale, especially with OpenSolar having our spec sheet, having our videos, having all of that embedded inside of OpenSolar. And if you choose a solar manufacturer, a photovoltaic panel manufacturer that partnering with OpenSolar, you're going to get that same leverage, that same collateral embedded directly into the OpenSolar. Briggs & Stratton is a true world-class, worldwide company that can leverage a lot of its capabilities. We are US-based manufacturing, and again, it's an inverter-agnostic batteries as well. Andrew, we got a couple minutes left. I want to thank everyone for joining us. If you have any questions, now is the time to put them into the Q&A. I liked this, Andrew. You have on your support page is how to get real-time answers. Now, everybody has AI now. Can tell us a little bit about this quickly. I know we want to show at least one more thing on how to sign up for OpenSolar.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. So we have a really comprehensive support help center with all kinds of resources and quick guides and videos and things to just help you either get started or learn more about the platform or be able to, get further embedded with it. So check that out. There also is an AI bot at the top, which can answer questions for you, but also just mainly help you get to the right article, right video you need quickly without having to go through and look at all the different threads and subjects and items in there. So really, really easy to use, but this is just our first line of defense for support. Again, we have a whole global support team, real humans behind the platform to help answer any questions. So you can submit a ticket to us. We usually get back to you in about a couple hours or even an hour if it's urgent or less. But we also have a team available for calls, webinars, chats. So again, US sales and support is online from 8 a.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Pacific. We do have our global team who can hop on during weekends or outside of US normal business hours. So we're here to help, whether it's our AI or humans. And yeah, again, at OpenSolar, Daniel's going to show a quick view of how you sign up and register to benefit yourselves and Briggs & Stratton. Dan, if you want to pause it for a quick moment, I just want to make a comment that, OpenSolar is a free platform. We are very careful about all your user data. So I think a lot of concerns is you guys are free. So, maybe you're selling or sharing our data to everybody. We don't do that. If we typically keep all the data for installers very private on the platform. But one thing we do work with Briggs & Stratton on is helping them with the forecasting for their products, which is really important for their customers on our platform and for you guys. With the market like it is today, and obviously with availability, we want to make sure that Briggs is keeping a good eye on forecasting and working with you to make sure they have the right products and right availability for their customers, especially their OpenSolar users. So if you are new to OpenSolar, we have a Briggs & Stratton special link. If you're already using OpenSolar, we have a little video we can send to you for a resource. But this is authorizing to you to share certain data with Briggs & Stratton, mainly just the designs and proposals that you're using their products on and the number of products you're proposing or designing with, right? So it's only sharing with Briggs the times you use their battery solutions in a design or proposal, but it's helping you and helping Briggs with forecasting, right? So this is really powerful. Hopefully saves you both some time on, those forecasting calls, but also helps Briggs know where their installers are designing, proposing, which areas, which states, and to help both of you with forecasting for better product availability for you, our mutual customers. So in this first video, we'll show where you log in through the Briggs & Stratton link, which we'll provide. this is our normal sign-up page. There's a little activation code at the bottom. And if you authorize OpenSolar to share this data, it's just, again, sharing the specific design and proposal data where Briggs is used, so they know the quantities of batteries and products being proposed, again, for better forecasting and availability. So this is the registration page here, which we'll share with everybody. And that little bottom button, again, really helpful for the Briggs team, and I think helpful for you as well to speed up that and, again, just provide better intelligence for the Briggs team. This will give you an idea of what information is being shared. So again, it's just any design where Briggs is used. It's not all your designs and projects, just any one that contains Briggs and Stratton products. And it's just giving them that information for better forecasting and availability here. So there's that initial registration page. And if you already do have an OpenSolar account, we do have in the OpenSolar account in the control zone the ability to go ahead and toggle this enable sharing on to be able to share that data with them. So yeah, I think, Daniel, if you want to move forward here a little bit, we will show that here in just a second. But yeah, basically, yep, right here in the control zone, you'll go to the company section and settings, and then from settings, you'll go to manage partner content, and then under manage partner data sharing right here, you can go ahead and type in that code for them, click this button right here, and then you can authorize sharing the Briggs and Stratton team the information about their designs and proposals where their products are being used. Again, we still protect all the rest of your data. It's only sharing within the times that their products are included in a design or proposal. And this is totally optional for you, but it just, again, will help you and the Briggs and Stratton team speed up the forecasting process and ensure the availability for products is being accounted for.
Thank you, Andrew. More learning. I know OpenSolar, Andrew, you guys got a learning platform. Absolutely check them out. Briggs & Stratton's Power Academy has a lot of great articles, self-paced, live, virtual, in-person sessions. And we go ahead and ask you to sign up through the Power Academy. Lastly, any installers on the call, we're offering $1,000 off your first install of that 6.6 system. Additionally, $100 off every battery after you get that first 6.6 install done. We'll let you join our IQ installer program. You don't have to be part of this program to start installing our products. But once you do get that first one, we'll let you in. We'll put you on the maps, get you those rebates that really continue each year as well. So, Andrew, thank you so much for joining. And I'm really excited to be working with OpenSolar. As somebody who understands the challenges of sitting down at a kitchen table with a homeowner, I'm really excited to have more tools at my disposal. Sometimes, I could also have the proposal open, and homeowners like to see where the panels are on the roof, and they might want to move the panels around on the roof. And that's always a lot of fun, is to have them move it around dynamically and show them. And maybe bring up, I know we didn't have time, but bring up the heat map of the roof and show them where are you getting the most sun on your roof. A lot of people think it's maybe here or there, and to show them that is really crucial. And I'm really excited. Why don't you close us out with some final thoughts, please, Andrew?
Yeah, I just want to thank again the Briggs and Stratton team for all their support and for having us here. Yeah, it's been a really great partnership for us, and yeah, I think they're really thinking forward about how they can help the installer community, especially as we face a lot of challenges and cost pressures in the industry. But yeah, no, we're here to help. I mean, our whole goal is to help installers save money, deploy more solar, and just help support the industry in general. So check us out. We're always again adding and building new features, so you'll see a lot of new exciting stuff from us coming later this year, later in the fall. But if you've been using our platform a long time, or you're brand new checking it out for the first time, any feedback you have, enhancements, things you'd like to see, we're all ears, and we love that feedback because we are actively working on, adjusting, making changes, evolving our features for our installer community. But yeah, again, check it out, totally free on the line. And if you do want to get started with us, please reach out to our team. We're more than happy to help. And again, just want to thank the Briggs and Stratton team. We're really excited to continue to integrate their products and services within the platform.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. And we'll see everyone next time. Again, everyone's going to be emailed this link to sign up for OpenSolar, a copy of the slide deck, and the recording. Thanks again.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Daniel. Have a great day, everyone. Take care.
Yep.